The path to the hill was steeper than Arin remembered. Dry leaves slid under his shoes, and small stones rolled down the side of the slope. His backpack felt heavier with every step, even though it only carried a bottle of water, a flashlight, and a folded jacket. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Jade asked, breathing hard behind him. She pushed her glasses back up her nose and tried to keep her sketchbook safe inside her jacket. The wind kept pulling at the pages. Leo walked a little ahead of both of them, hands in his jacket pockets, shoulders relaxed. "Relax," he said with a grin. "It's not a mountain, it's just a hill. And from the top, you can see the whole town. The last sunset before winter. You'll thank me when you see it." Arin tried to smile, but his stomach was tight. He didn't mind hills or tired legs. He minded heights. Down in the town, no one talked much about the old bridge anymore. People drove cars over the big new road bridge when they needed to cross the river. But kids still told stories about the narrow metal footbridge higher up. The one that crossed the deep part of the valley. Some said it was haunted. Some said it would fall if 3 people walked on it at the same time. Some said a boy had dropped his phone once and watched it spin down, forever lost in the dark water. Arin didn't believe in ghosts, but he believed in gravity. "Do we have to use the bridge?" he asked as they climbed. Leo looked back over his shoulder. "It's the fastest way," he said. "If we go the long way around, we'll miss the sunset." "That's not what he asked," Jade said quietly. She knew Arin well. They had been in the same class since they were 7. She knew he preferred the inside row on buses, the seat away from the window on planes, and the safe, solid floor of the school gym. "I don't like edges," Arin admitted, "or drops, or, the idea of my feet being here and empty air being right there." He stopped and pointed. The path had opened. In front of them, the ground suddenly fell away into a deep cut in the earth. Rocks dropped straight down to a dark line of trees, and somewhere below, the river moved slowly like a black ribbon. Across the gap stood the other side of the hill, rising up again toward the place where the sunset would soon be. Between the two sides, stretching like a thin, rust-colored line, was the old footbridge. It was narrower than Arin's bedroom. Metal rails, metal floor, and wooden planks in some places. Fear shook a little in the wind. Small sign at the start said, "Use at your own risk." Jade swallowed. It's not as bad as I imagined," she said, although her voice was higher than usual. Leo walked up to the beginning of the bridge and stepped on it with one foot. It creaked. He bounced lightly. "See?" he said. "Still strong. They built these things to last." Stories make it sound worse than it is. Arin stayed where he was. From this distance, the bridge looked like a tightrope. His palms started to sweat. What if one of the planks breaks? What if the rail gives way? What if we focus on what is strong, not what is broken? Leo said, "Softer now." He turned and leaned against the rail, facing them. "Look," he said, "the mainframe is metal. The cables are still tight. The middle section was checked last year by the hiking club. I read it online. only looks worse than it is. The real problem is not the bridge. It's what our brains tell us when we look down. Jade stepped up next to Arin. She didn't touch him, but she stood close enough that he could feel her presence like a second heartbeat. "We don't have to cross," she said. "We can go back. I can sketch the sunset from the school roof some other day. It's not worth a panic attack." Arin looked at her, then at Leo, then at the strip of metal leading to the other side. He thought of the last months, his father losing his job, the quiet fights in the kitchen at night, the way he had started to avoid gym class and group projects, always choosing the safest place, the lowest risk. He was tired of being afraid of everything. "I want to see if I can do it," he said finally. "But I don't want to do it alone." Leo nodded once. "Then we don't," he said. "We cross as one thing. 3 friends, not 3 separate people." He walked back from the bridge and stood between them. "Here's the rule," he said. "We hold the rail with one hand and each other with the other hand. No one looks straight down. Only at the next step or at the opposite hill. If anyone wants to stop, we all stop. If anyone wants to go back, we all go back." Agreed? Jade looked at Arin. Arin felt fear and something else inside him, something small but bright. "Agreed," he said. Jade let out a slow breath. "Agreed," she repeated. Leo put out his hand. Arin took it. Jade took Arin's other hand. For a moment, they just stood in a small triangle of warmth on the cold hill path, 3 hearts beating at 3 different speeds. Then, together, they took their first step onto the bridge that only they, trusting each other, would be able to cross. The first step onto the bridge felt like stepping onto a moving train. The metal under Arin's feet gave a small shiver. The rail felt cold and rough in his right hand. In his left hand, Jade's fingers were warm and tight around his. Leo stood on Arin's other side, his hand on the rail, his shoulder just close enough to touch. "Okay," Leo said quietly. "Small steps. We go together." They took another step. The bridge creaked. Wind moved through the valley, brushing past their jackets and whispering under the metal. Far below, the river made a soft, constant sound. Arin's heart pounded so loudly that he could hear it in his ears. "Don't look down," he told himself. "Don't imagine falling. Just the next plank. Then the next. Then the next." He focused on one thing, the place where his foot would land. Left foot, right foot. "Repeat." Jade spoke softly, as if she were reading lines from one of her sketchbook captions. "Look," she said. "The light on the river is beautiful from here. It looks like a moving mirror." Dared to lift his eyes a little, not down, but out. The river was a dark path of water, but where the sun touched it, there were long lines of gold. The town below looked smaller, almost gentle. "It's not the same from the ground," Jade continued. "This is a secret view, only for people who are scared and still walk." Arin let out a short, nervous laugh. "Qualify," he said. The 3 of them moved forward, step by step. Halfway across, a gust of wind pushed the bridge harder. It shook, Arin froze. His breath caught in his throat. His feet felt glued to the metal. "I can't," he whispered. "I can't move. I'm sorry. I thought I could, but I can't." His knees began to tremble. The drop beside them suddenly felt huge and hungry, like a mouth waiting for one wrong step. Leo did not tell him to be strong or stop being afraid. Instead, he spoke slowly, like someone explaining a math problem he already knew the answer to. "Okay," Leo said. "Then we stop. We don't go forward. We don't go back. We just stand. We're not falling. The bridge is still here. Feel it." He pressed his own weight down through his feet. "Jade," he said. Jade squeezed Arin's hand. "I'm here," she said. "I'm scared too. But we're scared together. Right now, we are heavier than our fear." Arin closed his eyes. For a moment, there was no valley, no river, no empty air. There were only 3 hands, 3 hearts, 1 thin line of metal, and the rhythm of breathing. He felt the rail under his fingers. He felt Jade's hand holding his like a rope. He felt Leo's presence beside him, solid and calm. In his mind, another picture slowly appeared. It was not the bridge in front of him. Well, it was something like a second bridge, glowing softly, made not of metal, but of trust. From Jade's to Leo's, and back again. The fear did not disappear, but it had to share space now with that new, invisible bridge that only they could see. Arin opened his eyes. He took a breath that went all the way down this time. "'Kay?" he said. "One more step. Just one. Then we can decide again." They moved. Left foot, right foot. The bridge creaked in the same way it had creaked for years. It did not break. They fell into a slow rhythm. Stop, breathe, talk, step. Sometimes Leo said something small. "Almost there. You're doing it. Look how far we've come." Sometimes Jade described colors in the sky or shapes of shadows on the rocks. Little by little, the other side grew nearer. Finally, Arin's foot touched solid ground again. Grass, rock, no metal. He almost did not trust it. He stood there, feeling the hill under him, waiting to wake up. "'Kay." Jade let go of his hand and turned to look at the bridge. "'Kay." Leo did the same. From this new side, the bridge looked just as thin and just as old. But something inside the 3 friends had changed. "We did it," Jade said softly. "I thought I was only following you too, but I was helping too." Leo shrugged, but there was a shine in his eyes. "Maybe courage is like a bridge," he said. "From far away, it looks impossible. But when you step on it together, you learn where it is strong." They climbed the last part of the hill in almost complete silence. At the top, the world opened. The whole town lay below them. Small houses, narrow streets, tiny cars moving like toys. Above everything, the sky burned orange and pink, with long, soft clouds stretching over the hills. Jade sat down on a rock and finally opened her sketchbook. "This is insane," she whispered. "I need 3 pages." Leo lay on the grass with his arms behind his head. Arin walked to the edge of the hill and looked back at the bridge. From here, it was almost invisible, just a thin line. That's us, he thought. From far away, people see nothing. But we know there is a bridge because we walked on it. Jade glanced up from her drawing. "Are you okay?" she asked. Arin nodded. "I was sure I would freeze and stay there forever," he said. "But I didn't. I was scared the whole time, and still. My feet moved. With you." Leo spoke without opening his eyes. "Fear doesn't disappear," he said, "but now you have proof. Next time you stand in front of some other bridge in life, you can remember this one." The sun touched the edge of the hills. Gold light washed over their faces. Arin felt something slow and steady settle inside him. Quiet courage, not loud or dramatic, but real. As they walked back later, using the long, safe path on the other side of the valley, the three friends did not need to say much. They shared snacks and joked about Jade's messy hair in the wind. But every so often, Arin touched the rail of a fence or the strap of his backpack and smiled to himself. He knew that somewhere behind them, high above the river, an old metal bridge waited in the evening light. Maybe one day it would be taken down. But the other bridge, the invisible one, built from 3 hands and 3 hearts, would always exist inside them. It was the bridge only they could see. And now, whenever life felt like a deep valley again, Arin knew he did not have to cross it alone. In the end, Arin, Jade.